Hello mga kababayan, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Laruan ni Obi-Wan. For this afternoon's review, we are going to take a look at G.I. Joe Classified Series Spirit Iron Knife. So this is number 36, and quick look at the card art on the back of the box. So really nice card art. We see all of the different G.I. Joe characters that G.I. Joe Classified Series has already put out in toy form. So let's examine the contents of our purchase. So we have the Spirit figure in classic G.I. Joe design and color. We have IronKnife and a set of alternate wings for IronKnife. We also have a backpack with a perch for IronKnife, a long-range scope, a pair of knives, and a sidearm. So this is a pretty much loaded set for retail price of $24.99, around out of the door around $27 with tax. So for a deluxe set like this, really not bad of a purchase. Let's do a quick 360 view of the Spirit figure. For articulation points, this Spirit action figure sports standard G.I. Joe Classified Series articulation points, which is really good. Even if we have this really ridiculous strap system for carrying all of Spirit's equipment, actually it does not hinder articulation. So the tolerances and the softness of the rub of these straps actually does not limit any point of articulation. So it's just okay to really pose this figure in different combat poses, or let us just say photo shoot poses for Facebook or Instagram. Now the head sculpt quite worried me when I was looking at this from just when the figure was still inside the box, because I noted of the ponytail. So good that the ponytail, we don't have any excess hair on the back that's going to really impede the head tilts on this guy. So actually, because we don't have any more excess hair or hair molds for this head sculpt, head articulation just great. So looking up motion, looking down motion, no problem. As for side to side motion of the head, no problem, even if we have these two ponytails. Actually, they are made of soft rubbery material which bends and flexes well. Okay. As for details on the paint that was applied to this figure, very clean paint, no overwashes or overlays of blues, browns, or black. So really nicely painted figure. And as for accessories, really loaded with accessories this set. So let's discuss now the things that somehow I really saw in this figure that needs to be changed. Okay, so I just wish that G.I. Joe Classified Series would hire a gun guy to somehow guide them in placement of pouches and weapon systems. So for example, you have the holster over here. So it's a given, since you put the holster, the Kydex retention holster for Spirit on the right side, that Spirit would be a right hand shooter. But as for ammunition storage for the pistol, the 1911s that's included for this figure, the magazine pouch or the magazine holders would be on the right side. So somehow that is just not right. This magazine pouch holder should be located on the left side for ease of access when reloading a weapon. So I think that I'm just still now debating whether I'm going to mod this belt or not. So while I'm in the process of debating whether to really take out my X-Acto knife and glue and change the belt systems to my own liking, let us proceed with the review. Okay, the other thing that I also noticed that somehow it's just, well, it's okay to look at. It's really nice, really looks beautiful. But if you're going to shoulder a long-range rifle, you won't be placing this stun grenade or flashbang or this baseball grenade on the right side of the chest. So this area should be clean of any accessory or any pouches, because you're going to shoulder the rifle on your right shoulder. So this is going to impede the proper placement of the buttstock of your rifle for proper weapon functioning or targeting. So somehow those are just minor gripes. Well, with regards to this strap, I don't think that I'm going to mess with that anymore, but I think I'm going to really take out the X-Acto knife and change this, put this to the side, and place the Kydex retention holster up, since this figure does not sport any body armor on him. And somehow I think I'm also going to place the knife or situate the knife elsewhere. So let's just see. Anyway, this figure has a 2-belt system, which I think allows for further attachments or placement of the weapons and the bladed accessories. So for bladed weapons or tools, this spirit action figure comes with 2. So the one that is on the drop leg design holster is a standard military looking general issued knife, which looks something like a K-bar, or because of the serrated edge on top, looks like a Bowie knife of some sort. So aside from the general issued knife, the other noteworthy knife on this set would be the one that is mounted on the chest. So that is a bone knife. So bone knives are really nice looking knives, are actually collectible pieces. So on the details on the blade, so we have nice details on the blade, just like any of the bone knives that you would possibly have custom built for in a knife shop. And the thing that is also nice about this knife is the inclusion of that bird head on the base of the handle. So I hope the camera catches that detail. Now let's take a look at the main battle implements of Spirit, which is a bolt action rifle and a sidearm, 1911 45 ACP. Okay, so let's start with this because we have a really nice detail on this sidearm. So I hope the camera catches it. You could see that there is a mold of a eagle head and a spread out eagle wing on the slide and the frame of the pistol. So let's take a look at the other side. So that is also molded onto the other side of the pistol. So we also have the eagle head and the eagle wing. So the other thing that this pistol also has would be a opening for a muzzle flash. So if you have any of those Marvel Legends muzzle flashes available or on hand, you could possibly stick that to the end or the barrel of the pistol. It's just tragic that the trigger on this pistol is just not too pronounced. It is just way too deep. Anyway, very minor gripe, but with regards to the detail, that is a really nice touch from G.I. Joe Classified series. Now, this bolt action rifle looks like a Mossberg MVP bolt action rifle. So because of the presence of the pistol grip, but it looks like that the stock isn't extendable. But so far by design, this looks like a Mossberg MVP. So with a very magnified or long range scope, more than 10 power possibly. So it is also suppressed on the end, but the suppressor is not really that pronounced. So if you have any spare suppressors from any of your Marvel Legends action figures, actually this is still customizable. So this too, the muzzle end of that suppressor also has a hole which you could possibly attach a muzzle or a muzzle tip or a device that of some sort that looks like this bolt action rifle just expended a round. So another feature of this rifle is a detachable magazine. So but for this set, it only comes with one. So the next thing that we'd like to talk about would be weapon storage. So how does this action figure store the weapons that it has on hand? So quite well for the blades. So the business ends, actually the blade itself is nicely secured on the knife sheaths. So really okay. But with regards to the firearms, this is where I think the Classified Series team has to really employ a gun guy. So for the Kydex retention drop leg holster, this is the problem. So of course, if you're a gun guy, then you will really notice these little things. So for the pistol, if you drop the pistol to guard the trigger, you expose the crown of the pistol. So it's going to be, which one do you wish to protect, the crown or the trigger well? And considering that Spirit is a tracker, so he spends majority of his time in the bush, so those two things would really snag on something, especially the trigger guard. So if you also carry around in the chamber, that's going to be really problematic. So for me, it's just going to be really, I'm going to protect the crown of my barrel. Okay, so for the storage for the long range bolt action rifle, so it's going to be, of course, barrel up with the optics up. So the problem with this is the peg, because actually the pegs onto the trigger guard of the bolt action rifle. But actually, if this is something that you could possibly do a custom with, so just drill a hole on the other side of the rifle, and not too deep, that this peg would go through and cut a little bit of the peg, I think just enough for the rifle, the body of the rifle to catch on the backpack of Spirit. Okay, so just minor gripes, something that I really noticed because I also am into firearms. So for the backpack, I really like the execution of the backpack. So we have the perch for IronKnife or the eagle. We also have a perch or a leather glove for the left arm. So yeah, okay, left arm orientation. So left arm. So The peg also has two holes which accommodates the peg for the bird, and we also have two holes on the forearm of Spirit. So those are the nice simple details that this figure has on. So something that we had on the smaller version, the classic version of this figure. But also noteworthy is the head sculpt and the ponytails. So as for the color, so as you could see, the color of the backpack, actually the black, well, it's black, but for the brown, it matches the color of the pants, it matches the color of the sheath of the breast mounted bone knife. So really nice detail on this action figure. So let's move on to the sidekick of Spirit. So let's take a look at IronKnife. So I placed IronKnife on the perch on the backpack of Spirit. So from this side looks good, from this side looks good, from this side also looks good. So as for proportion, if Spirit was a regular sized man and this was a true sized bird, so with regards to proportion, it is nicely proportioned. So bald eagles are really big, so the proportion is just right, because sometimes the animal that is paired with a action figure is sometimes just way too big, which makes the set ridiculous. But with regards to this, the proportions are just right. So even if we have the bird perched on the back, it's okay. So let's take a look now if he's perched on the forearm of Spirit. If for example you wish to display this figure with IronKnife perched on the forearm or the leather gauntlet. Okay, so are you settled in? So do find your spot, boy. Okay, so I think that's it, and there you go. So for hunter and bird, now that also looks really nice. So that's a more photogenic pose for this set. Really nice for Facebook or Instagram. So let's discuss the articulation points of this bird. So we have a articulation point for the head. So I think that is a ball joint, so the head could move sideways, could move head down, so we have tilts available. The leg also has articulation, but on the sideways motion. So let's expose that leg. So only sideways motion, we don't have any hinge. The foot of the bird has articulation, actually just circulation, but we don't have any hinge. And the wings are also articulated, depends on the wing set that you include. So you could take both wings out and replace them with the one that is included in the set. So let's put it on frame. So interchanging the wings is just nice and simple. Just take hold of the existing ones which are included on the set and just pop it off, so they are on a ball system. And as for the total spread of the wing, for those of you who are interested if this is going to take up space, that is a 7-inch spread. So oops, plus let's take this rifle out. So especially this rifle the trigger is nestled on that peg, so we might shoot down IronKnife, so we don't want that. Okay, so for the side angle, the side profile, front profile, the other side profile, and from the back. So let's take this bird off that perch and take a really close look at the detail. So of course, for a flight pose, so level that head straight forward and straighten out the legs, so that way. So I just wish that we had a system to really have this IronKnife figure for a flight stance or flight stand, possibly a transparent stand. Anyway, I think I have one over here, so let's put one on frame. So from McFarlane DC Multiverse. So how is this going to look? So I think we need to make use of the clamp. Okay, so let's do a little bit of rotation and place spirit on the side over here, so, and cover that clamp up, so that's really a nice pose. So that's a nice pose for Facebook or Instagram. Okay, so this ends my review for this Spirit and IronKnife figure. A really nice set, something that is really worthy of our hard-earned money, especially in times like this of depression or recession. So if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe, and help me grow my channel. And see you on the next action figure review.